In the vast history of the Roman Empire, few names resonate with the complexity of Publius Aelius Hadrianus. He was the traveler, the philosopher, and the soldier. He was the protector of the empire, but also the great retrenchment.
An emperor who built not just monuments, but a vision of a new Roman identity defined by defense, not endless conquest.
For over 2 decades, he ruled a world spanning 3 continents, leaving an indelible mark visible even today.
From the walls of Britain to the temples of Athens, he was the first true Hellenophile on the throne, more Greek than Roman.
This is the story of the man who chose to draw a line in the sand, securing the golden age that would follow, and sowing the seeds of conflict that preceded it.
But before he could rule an empire, he had to survive a dangerous guildhole and navigate the treacherous politics of succession. Early life and Trajan's shadow.
Hadrian was born in the year 76 AD, not in Rome, but in Italica, a Roman colony in the province of Hispania, modern-day Spain.
While technically Roman citizens, the family had been in Spain for generations. Their lineage, however, was critically important.
Hadrian's father, Publius Aelius Hadrianus Afer, was a cousin to the future Emperor Trajan. This family link was his golden ticket.
At the tender age of 10, Hadrian was orphaned. His 2 guardians were appointed, the Roman official Publius Aelius Hadrianus, and his powerful kinsman, Marcus Ulpius Trajanus Trajan.
This relationship was both a blessing and a burden. Trajan was a legend in the making, and Hadrian spent his teenage years in Rome, receiving a top-tier education.
Hadrian quickly gained a reputation for his brilliant mind and his insatiable curiosity, especially for all things Greek, earning him the nickname Graeculus, the Little Greek.
His pursuit of the arts was often at odds with the serious military career Trajan expected.
As a young man, he began the traditional cursus honorum, the ladder of public office. His service took him from Rome to the legions on the Danube.
This was the true proving ground, participating in the Dacian wars that would define Trajan's legacy.
It was a baptism by fire. Hadrian served as a tribune, a vital aide, and was instrumental in delivering a congratulatory message to Trajan after the first great victory.
His loyalty and competence were undeniable. Trajan cemented the bond by arranging Hadrian's marriage to his grandniece, Vibia Sabina.
This was not a love match, but a political necessity. It tied Hadrian directly to the imperial family, a critical step towards ultimate power. The path to power.
Despite his achievements, Hadrian was constantly scrutinized. His relationship with Trajan was complex, a mixture of paternal pride and deep skepticism.
Trajan, the conqueror, had no direct male heir. As the emperor aged and his health began to fail during the ultimately costly Parthian campaigns, the issue of succession became urgent.
Hadrian was given key appointments: governor of Pannonia Inferior, then consul. He was strategically placed, but Trajan still refused to formally name him as successor.
In 117 AD, the Emperor Trajan, weakened and gravely ill, began the long journey back to Rome from the east. He didn't make it.
Trajan died in the town of Selinus in Cilicia. The announcement of Hadrian's adoption came just hours later, supposedly sealed by the hand of Trajan's widow, Plotina.
But the circumstances were, and remain, highly controversial. Many questioned the legitimacy of the adoption, given its timing.
4 powerful senators, former generals who could have challenged Hadrian's claim, were quickly executed. The official reasoning: they had planned a coup.
Whether it was a lie to cover a power grab or a necessary move to secure the transition, the message was clear: Hadrian was now Augustus. Defining the new reign.
Hadrian's first act shocked the establishment. He immediately abandoned Trajan's conquests in Mesopotamia and Armenia.
The empire had reached its limit. Hadrian recognized that further expansion was financially draining and militarily unsustainable. He was a pragmatist.
He redefined the imperial mindset, shifting from aggressive expansion to consolidated defense. This was a turning point for Rome.
To solidify his power at home, he understood he needed the public on his side. He canceled massive amounts of public debt.
This unprecedented generosity ensured his popularity among the people, securing his rule against the disgruntled Senate.
But Hadrian's most enduring legacy would not be his politics, but his boots on the ground. He was the traveler emperor.
For over a decade, from 121 AD, he would be absent from Rome more than he was present, personally inspecting every major province.
He didn't just tour, he lived the life of a soldier, marching alongside his men, eating the same rations, and personally inspecting defenses.
His goal was simple: to truly understand the empire he ruled, a perspective no other emperor had truly adopted.
And nowhere was his dedication to defense and his personal presence more necessary than on the remote, hostile island of Britannia.
The northern frontier was restless, the local tribes consistently harassing Roman authority. Hadrian had to solve the problem permanently.
In 122 AD, Hadrian arrived, and he brought with him the most ambitious engineering project in the history of Roman Britain.
He didn't build a temporary fortification. He built a definitive statement. He built a barrier.
This wall, named for him, would stretch for 80 Roman miles, establishing a clear border between the civilized world and the chaos beyond.
The wall wasn't just stone. It was a psychological border, a massive customs post, and a logistical marvel.
It was a clear signal to his generals and his people. The era of conquest was over. The age of consolidation had begun.
But the wall was just the start. Hadrian's journeys were a continuous, massive program of military and infrastructure development across the whole empire.
He renovated, rebuilt, and standardized. He was the great administrator and the great patron of architecture.
In Athens, he finished the Temple of Olympian Zeus, a structure left incomplete for centuries. He was fulfilling an old Hellenic dream.
Back in Rome, he left his most brilliant architectural masterpiece, a dome that defied gravity and the passage of time, the Pantheon.
A temple to all the gods, its revolutionary dome remains the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world.
Hadrian did not just govern the empire, he sought to beautify it, to standardize its laws, and to ensure its longevity.
His personal stamp was everywhere, yet his true lifeblood was elsewhere, beyond the formality of Rome and the barracks of the military.
Hadrian was not merely an emperor, he was a deeply philosophical man, a poet, and a great, almost obsessive lover of Greek culture.
This Greek obsession would lead him to the most intense, defining, and ultimately tragic relationship of his life.
This young man was Antinous, a Bithynian Greek. His relationship with Hadrian was both passionate and completely public.
Their life together represented a different kind of power, the power of art, philosophy, and personal connection.
It was a partnership that broke the conventions of Roman Stoicism and traditional morality, inviting both admiration and deep scandal.
This love would ultimately become an obsession, culminating in a mysterious tragedy on the Nile that would forever change the emperor.
The sudden, mysterious death of Antinous left a void in Hadrian's life that he sought to fill by granting his lover divine status.
Antinous became a god. Cities were founded in his name. His image became the most depicted face in the Roman world after the emperor himself.
From the builder of walls to the widower of a god, Hadrian's complexity is what makes him so unique.
Part 2. The Hellenic Dream and the Shadow of War.
Antinous deified and the Hellenic tour.
The official story of Antinous' drowning in the Nile in 130 AD was either a tragic accident or a sacrificial offering, but for Hadrian it was an unimaginable personal catastrophe.
The emperor's response was immediate and unprecedented. He ordered the deification of his deceased lover. Antinous became a new god, Antinous Osiris.
The cult of Antinous exploded across the empire, particularly in the Greek East, where the concept of a deified hero was more readily accepted.
Hundreds of statues were commissioned, making Antinous' face, with its melancholy, dreamy gaze, one of the most recognizable in antiquity.
Hadrian refocused his grief into patronage, pouring his energy into his spiritual home, Athens.
He completed the long-stalled Temple of Olympian Zeus, inaugurated the Hadrianic Library, and created the new, expansive Hadrianic city quarter.
He saw himself as the philosophical heir to the great Greek kings, unifying the Greek world under Roman peace, the Pax Romana Hellenica.
This reverence for Greek culture, however, sometimes masked a brutal Roman will, which was about to be unleashed in the one place Hadrian could not tolerate rebellion.
The peace of the empire was threatened by the same force that had defined his predecessor's expansion: Jewish nationalism in Judea.
The seeds of the conflict were Hadrian's own initiatives, a total ban on circumcision and the plan to build a new Roman colony on the ruins of Jerusalem.
The new city, Aelia Capitolina, would include a massive temple to the supreme Roman god, Jupiter Capitolinus, built directly atop the ruins of the Second Jewish Temple.
The Bar Kokhba Revolt.
The Jewish people saw this as the ultimate desecration, an existential threat to their religion and identity. The final, desperate war was inevitable.
The rebellion began in 132 AD, led by the charismatic figure of Simon Bar Kokhba, who was proclaimed by Rabbi Akiva as the long-awaited Messiah.
The rebels, highly motivated and organized, used guerrilla tactics, surprising the Romans and swiftly establishing a functioning independent state for 3 years.
Hadrian was forced to divert immense military resources, including legions from across the empire, led by his most capable general, Sextus Julius Severus.
This was no small skirmish. It was a brutal existential war that cost the Romans more casualties than the conquest of Britain.
The Roman response was systematic and merciless. They pursued the rebels relentlessly, besieging their fortresses and flushing them out of their complex cave hiding systems.
The revolt was finally crushed in 135 AD. The human cost was astronomical. Hundreds of thousands of Jews killed, captured or sold into slavery.
To utterly erase the connection between the land and its people, Hadrian took the final, drastic measure. He renamed the province Syria Palestina.
He issued a decree banning Jews from entering Jerusalem, Aelia Capitolina, except for a single annual mourning day.
Hadrian's Great Retreat, the Villa Adriana.
Exhausted by years of travel, war, and grief, Hadrian retreated to his ultimate private masterpiece, Hadrian's villa, Villa Adriana, near Tibur.
This was his personal monument to his journeys, a sprawling architectural zoo that recreated the wonders of the empire.
He incorporated Egyptian water temples, Greek theaters, and his own bizarre, circular private island retreat, the Maritime Theater.
The villa was a fusion of function and philosophy, a place where the emperor could live out his Hellenic dream, far from the suffocating politics of the Senate in Rome.
It was here, in his final years, that he focused on ensuring the stability of the empire after his death.
His own health failing, he orchestrated the most carefully managed succession in Roman history, ensuring a line of adopted heirs who would become the five good emperors.
The ultimate tragic irony was that the great builder of walls and codifier of law would leave the world in pain, writing his famous mournful final poem.
Little soul, little charming wanderer, where are you going to reside in now? Pale, naked, stiff, you'll no longer make your usual jokes. Part 3: The Immortal Legacy. Succession and Twilight Years.
By the early 130s AD, Hadrian's health was in serious decline. He suffered from a debilitating illness, possibly dropsy or congestive heart failure.
The vibrant, tireless traveler was now often confined to his villa, grappling with constant pain and a growing bitterness.
The question of succession, always a perilous issue for Roman emperors, became paramount. Hadrian, having no biological children, had to choose an heir.
His first choice fell upon Lucius Sionius Commodus, a young, handsome, but somewhat dissolute senator. Hadrian adopted him as Lucius Aelius Caesar.
This choice baffled many, especially the Senate, who saw little merit in the frivolous young man. It was rumored to be for personal rather than political reasons.
But fate intervened. Less than 2 years after his adoption, in 138 AD, Lucius Aelius Caesar died suddenly from an illness.
Hadrian, heartbroken and desperate, made a second, more pragmatic choice. Antinous Pius, a respected older senator with an impeccable reputation.
Antinous, in turn, was required to adopt 2 younger men, Marcus Aurelius and Lucius Verus, ensuring a long-term line of succession.
This far-sighted act of political engineering cemented the period known as the Five Good Emperors, a golden age of stability and prosperity.
But even as he secured the future, Hadrian's present was consumed by suffering and paranoia. His temper flared, and his trust eroded.
He became increasingly unpopular, even attempting suicide multiple times, only to be prevented by his terrified guards.
The once beloved emperor, the great traveler and builder, faced his final days isolated and in agony. The mausoleum, a final resting place.
For his final resting place, Hadrian chose to build a monument that would rival Augustus's own mausoleum, a testament to his imperial grandeur.
Across the Tiber, connected by his new Pons Aelius Bridge, rose a massive, cylindrical structure, faced with gleaming marble and topped with cypress trees and statues.
This was his mausoleum, a fortress-like tomb designed for himself and his future successors. Today, we know it as the Castel Sant'Angelo.
It was a grand, theatrical statement, designed to ensure his eternal memory, just as the Pantheon ensured his architectural legacy.
In 138 AD, at the age of 62, Hadrian died in Baia. His final wish was to be laid to rest in his magnificent mausoleum.
His ashes, alongside those of Vibia Sabina and later Antoninus Pius, would eventually reside in the heart of this colossal tomb.
The mausoleum, transformed into a papal fortress in the Middle Ages, still stands as an enduring symbol of Hadrian's ambition and his lasting presence in Rome.
The legacy, an emperor defined by paradox.
Hadrian's reign marked a pivotal shift for the Roman Empire. He was the emperor who understood the limits of power.
He codified Roman law, creating a more uniform and accessible legal system across the vast empire.
His architectural marvels, from the Pantheon to his villa, redefined Roman building and continue to inspire architects today.
But his legacy is also complicated by the violence of the Bar Kokhba revolt and the personal tragedies that shaped his rule.
He brought Rome into a new phase of stability and defensive strength, yet his actions also sowed seeds of resentment in some quarters.
Hadrian was an enigma, a cultured Hellenophile who brutally crushed rebellion, a meticulous administrator driven by personal passions, a soldier who hated war.
His life serves as a profound exploration of leadership, power, and the complex interplay between personal desires and imperial duty.
His reign reminds us that even the most powerful of men are driven by the very human forces of love, loss, ambition, and the relentless search for meaning.